Hello, how are you?
I'm great, Roger. How are you, sir?
I'm good, good.
Good. It has been a while. It's been a few weeks at least, but we're back. So, yeah, let's do this thing. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm excited to start a new chapter.
I love when we start a new chapter. It's my
I think,
favorite thing.
what did Sherman say to Grant? Sling our knapsacks and head on to the next battle or something like that?
That's right. Let's do this all official like. I've got notes here, so let's welcome everybody. First and foremost, welcome to Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials. If this is your first foray into any of the videos that we've done on the great campaigns of the American Civil War, I certainly invite you to go back and watch any of the curated playlists that I've built for each of the series that we've done. This is, gosh, five, six, maybe the fifth or sixth title that Roger and I have done, but certainly there is other stuff on the channel related to this particular title. If you're new to Great Campaigns, this is a great jumping on point because it's a little different, but all the modules and the scenarios kind of build you up a little bit. But definitely go back and watch some of the other stuff, and I also have some learning tutorials on the channel that is what was the germ of the entire channel that I started all those years ago, and they kind of hold up pretty well. So I should go back and revisit them at some point. But be that as it may, we are here and welcome again. We are going to, like we do at the beginning of every new chapter, reintroduce ourselves. I'm going to let Roger do that first, and then we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves, how we got here, and then we will talk about what we're doing with this series. So, Roger, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Take it away.
Okay. Well, I was raised on a family farm in Iowa, a large family. I'm the seventh of seventh kids. In terms of gaming, we had the typical games around the house: Monopoly, Scrabble, Clue. In terms of war games, we weren't a wargaming family. My dad, however, and I think chess is a war game, taught me to play chess when I was really young. I don't remember not knowing how to play chess. When I was about 10, I was into history, and we were in people might not know what this is, a five and dime store, which is what we had in the small towns in Iowa. And for some reason, they had Africa Corps from Avalon Hill. And I was intrigued and asked my mom if I could have that for Christmas. And she remembered, and I got it for Christmas. And the only person I ever really played was my oldest brother, who's 6 years older than me. And then for some reason, a year or two after that, I got Rick Toffin's War, also from Avalon Hill, apparently considered both games, not considered classics. And in terms of wargaming, that's all I did. And I pretty much, at that point, my brother had moved on to college. So I was pretty much just playing those solo. And you could say I either wasn't brave enough or foolish enough to go in and tell my friends, hey, I have these two war games. You want to learn how to play them? And then I went to college, kind of left the wargaming behind, played some chess. And I remember one of my friends talking me into doing a Dungeons and Dragons thing, which I didn't enjoy or understand, I think, more than anything else. Got out of college. I did my graduate work down here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and bought another classic, the Civil War by Victor Games. And I'd set that up as a bachelor and play that. And then I got married, and my wife and I would do our vacation was to go to the beach for 1 to 2 weeks. And I took the Civil War game as something to set up and fill in time. And one year I forgot. And we were in Charleston. And so I went to a game store there and bought the original Roads to Gettysburg. And that became my vacation game. And then a couple of years after that, my wife bought me Stonewall Jackson's Way, the original. And so I'd take one game or the other. And then unfortunately, our circumstances became we weren't able to take that kind of vacation. The games kind of ended up on the shelf. And boy, now I have to say, what, Patrick, a couple years ago now? uh, I saw
Almost three.
almost 3 years ago, I was watching, and Civil War history kind of became my most interest of history. If I look at my bookshelf here, it's almost all Civil War books, some World War II. And I was watching a documentary or something on YouTube, and your tactics and tutorials came up. And I said, I own that game. And I watched it, and my interest was piqued. I broke out Stonewall Jackson's Way. I played Cedar Mountain, all those scenarios, Roads to Gettysburg, played all those. Opened up the whole concept of Board Game Geek and Consim World, and I picked up some older games on the used market. And Ken Lee, just before COVID, this is before COVID, organized a group game. And I just found the Facebook Great Campaigns. I went in and tried to watch that, and I was able to watch it. Finally got into Vassal, but I was really confused and put a post on Facebook. Would someone teach me? And you replied. And since then, we haven't looked back, I guess. We started playing, and you taught me well, I think. And I don't know how many titles. I was trying to do the math in my head, but yeah, we're up to 5 or 6 titles now that we played the scenarios, and we've jumped into doing campaign games now. We've done 2 campaigns, Hood Strikes North and Here Come the Rebels. We've done the campaigns there. And so it's been great. I love this series because for me, my interest in history, I think it seems to me it does a great job of putting you in the role of the Army commander. And I've gotten a lot, you read a history book that says, Pope should have done this, or Pope should have done that, or McClellan should have done this, or Lee should have done this. And in the context of this game, it really brings out, I think, in not a really complicated way. This isn't a fiddly game. I learned I now have many more games on my shelf because of you.
Sorry.
It just brings out that sometimes it's not as easy as saying, well, you should have marched his troops from point A to point B. And we have perfect intelligence, other than we did try that, which was great. We did the hidden counters. You add that in, then it becomes even harder to know what's the right thing to do. So I think this is a great system, and I appreciate you willing to play me on an almost weekly basis, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing next. So, any questions? Comment
we got a hand in the back. Teaneck, New Jersey, go! Thank you, Roger, for that. My introduction is very similar. I have been a gamer for over 40 years now. I started early on with, much like Roger, the family games. My family, I'm the youngest of 3 children. My family were not particularly gamers. My parents were demon card players. They had consistent canasta nights, which would end in wonderful accusations flying across the table, because it was always the men versus the ladies, and there was accusations of toe tapping and signal giving, and for those canasta players out there, you know how it works. But my sisters, I have 2 older sisters, they didn't really game with me much, so it was on the neighborhood fellows that I made friends with. And just like Roger, all the standard fare. We had Risk, Monopoly, Clue, that stuff. I had an old 50s edition of Clue, which I treasured because I just wanted to play it all the time. Of course, my sisters were ambivalent to play it. They just always assumed that I was cheating, because how can you not figure out that Mrs. White did it with the candlestick in the bedroom? Of course she did. It's just there. As I got a little older, got into scouting. And scouting was really where my gaming took off. I had a stable of friends, and as we got together in the Order of the Arrow, which is the Honor Society, we would have 4 to 6 prescribed weekends. By that time, we were living at the camp. My father became the ranger of that camp, so I was living there, and people would come to my house for the weekend, basically. And some of the weekends were fun. We could stay up all night, and that's where I was introduced to a little bit heavier. I had started Risk with some of the neighborhood fellows before I moved, but then that's when I discovered Axis and Allies. And lo and behold, that was my gateway into the Avalon Hill games. And soon it became playing Civilization all night into the wee hours, and all these wonderful games in my library now that I've reacquired that were such fond memories. Junta was an extremely popular game with our group. We would have 6 or 7 players constantly playing Junta. That was the go-to game for the longest time. So, like Roger, went off to college, and that waned. That's just, you put away the childish things, right? And then you become a child again, and you have some disposable income, and you get interested. I've always been a student of history. One of my potential academic pursuits was going to be a history major. That's part of what I did in my graduate program. American history was always my first love. American Civil War specifically. And when I got out of college and started acquiring new things, I got back into the hobby through Euros, and then I wanted to get deeper into war games. So it led me, what it seems now, a predetermined path right to the doors of Great Campaigns in the, I guess, about 2006 or 7. I was looking for what I considered to be the American Civil War game that would cover my needs. I had played Mark Herman's For the People, loved it, but it was grand strategic. So I wanted something a little bit more indicative of what the combat was like. So I tried the other end of the spectrum down to the tactical level with Terrible Swiss Sword and some of the I did the 3 Battles of Manassas, trying to get into the real articulate writing out orders and trying to get this regiment to move to that crossroad to take it. And that seemed a little too much. So right in the middle of that is where we arrive here at Great Campaigns. It is the operations level, and it's basically, hey, move that division 5 miles that way and try to cut off that other division that's coming here. And that was exactly what I needed. That was the meat and potatoes that I was looking for on my American Civil War plate, and I have not looked back since. It has respawned my love and depth of reading for the American Civil War to sit there, like Roger was saying, when you can sit there and anybody can quarterback this and going, Pope made this mistake, I can do better than Pope. Well, can you? Can you really? Because the dice are going to add that friction and vagary of war where you really want to get that unit. And we saw it perfectly in our series, in the last one that we did, where I can certainly cut off Jackson at Thoroughfare Gap. If Jackson gets some really great marching with that foot cavalry, he's gonna shoot the gap before you can get there. So then you have to scramble, and it's always about action reaction, and that is why I love this system. It's not so much about perfect information, but it's can you react and make the best of a really bad situation, stop the hemorrhaging, as it were. So with all of that, I started playing. I jumped into a tournament in 2008. I knew nothing about how to play the game. I lost horribly that first game, but by the second game, the person who had beat me in that first round gave me a lot of really good pointers about the nuances of this system, and I filed all that away, and much of it has come out through my tutelage with Roger and on the instructional videos that I did, which I did on a lark one night. In a deep winter, I had access to this screen capture material, and I said, I haven't seen any videos on these, and I guess it was partly a vanity project, and I just started going through the resource materials that were both online and the information in the actual books that come with the game, and I was able to put together 6 videos, I think, that just kind of take you from the beginning mechanics all the way through. And the goal was at some point to follow that up with more strategic concepts and thoughts, and people were always asking, when are you going to do that? When are you going to do that? And it took till COVID, basically, when we were locked down again, and Ken Lee started organizing the stuff online, and I said, well, you know what, let's do a big get together online, and I'll record it, and we'll see what the reaction is. And we did that, and the reaction was unexpected but very, very pleasant. We got a huge reaction. It built the group back together. We had a Discord server accessible to us, and that kind of respawned my efforts here to do that. And as Roger said, the rest is history there. He reached out, and I said, sure, let's do it. And it became a free content generator. So once you could organize these things into standard play, and we put the stuff out and people knew what to expect, the reaction to that was very favorable, very positive and encouraging. So that's what we've done. And we've done everything. We were kind of going chronologically, but we've kind of jumped ahead a little bit here, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But Roger, it's been my pleasure doing this with you, because I think the student I was never a master, I was competent, but I think you have far exceeded my skills in many ways, because you have a critical view on some of these things when we're playing that I'm like, oh, wish I had thought of that. So that's great.
I just want, if people are new to the Great Campaign system, Patrick's tutorials are a great place to start. I had played the game before I watched your tutorials, but I never really understood it in the context. I was constantly having to go back to the rules, and your videos were so clear, and also being consistent with the rule set, because the original games sort of had unique rules, and they've consolidated that now to basically a single rule set. And you did such a great job, and I think it says something that nobody else has tried to put together tutorials. I think that's true. I think what you said is a true statement. People do like we do playthroughs, but no one goes through and tries the teaching aspect of the great campaigns.
I wish I could take full credit for that. I really was standing on the shoulders of giants on that because at that time that I did that, one of the best resources online, it is since lapsed, but you can get to it through some of the web archive products, is Jay Meyer's Wargame Replays. And my videos were really just a video love letter to all the efforts he had done there, where he broke down the rules into a very logical set of, like the old programmed instruction from Avalon Hill. And I used that, but I wanted to just have it as a video dialogue here saying, okay, let's talk about movement. This is how movement works. And it was such an easy transition from that into a video product that I wish I could take credit for that, but he did the real lion's share of it. I just kind of cribbed his notes. So my congratulations to Jay for putting that original. That's like the resource 1.0, and mine is kind of 2.0. And I watch them now, and they're so adorably monotones. Like, hello, I'm going to teach you how to play great campaigns. And I noticed that my sound quality on the second episode is horrible because I was using an old-fashioned RCA microphone, and I really need to go back through and just polish those up and kind of clean them up for the next generation of 1080p, 4 HD.
Yeah, I suppose. I still think they're excellent to watch. That's all.
Well, let's talk about why we're here. First, I want to give a huge thank you, not only to Jay Myers as we did, that is what got us here from the tutorial standpoint, but for the overall support and guidance for all of this as we have done this the last 3 years. It started as a lark, and now it's becoming more of a partnership, I think, in many ways. So my thanks to everyone at Multiman Publishing who give us the opportunity and the encouragement to do this. And of course, all of the design team for all of the products, starting with Joe the Man Balkowski himself, who has been very interactive with me both by email and encouraging suggestions. So he helps us cut through a lot of the things when we have questions. Joe is right there for us, and everybody else, especially Ed Beach, Chris Withers, everyone who's involved with Charlie Kibler with the mapping, and Alberto Romero. He maintains, I think, through a labor of love, all of the Vassal work that has come with all of the products as they're being released from Multiman. And from playtesting through support and maintenance on the Vassal site. So thank you, Alberto. You have been a treasure for all this, because anytime we find a problem, we tell Alberto, and he's got an update version within a couple of days. So thank you for that. And all of that to say, their encouragement has let us get some previews to upcoming products, and that is what we are doing here in this new title. We had originally planned that we were going to continue our chronological. We were going to possibly do Burnside Takes Command, but then we got suggestions saying, hey, we're almost ready for release with the On to Richmond product, which will include the new version of Grant Takes Command. Why don't you do that? Why don't you showcase that? And I said, yes, please. Let's do that. So here we are, Roger. You had asked a few years ago about, hey, what do you think of Grant Takes Command? And I said, I love Grant Takes Command. I love the Overland Campaign. So guess what we're doing?
Grant Takes Command.
You are correct.
and yeah, I just want to ditto the thanks to everybody, especially giving us or me the chance to see these. I know one of the reasons why we were passing on Grant Takes Command was the module was a little more rustic with the older maps, and now we have the new maps, and the great job Alberto does with this. And for people who aren't familiar with the Vassal modules, I'm just Alberto has done this all in one, where the fatigues and the manpower and the demoralization are all on the counter itself. So we're not having to manage a large stack of computerized tokens. So that's why it looks a little different than what you're going to get from the box. But yeah, I always want to say ditto to thanks, because that's it's been wonderful.
It has. And I'm glad you pointed that out. It will look a little differently, so we will not have stacks of fatigue markers and everything. This does, for what I'm doing here visually in a video environment, I think it once you get used to seeing it, then it's very natural, and it makes the video processing a lot more seamless. So let's talk about this. I'm going to show off the map here a little bit. We are now looking at the new updates to what will be released in Grant Takes Command. These are all the new Charlie Kibler maps. These are revisions to everything that came previously. It will be put together into the On to Richmond product. So when you get, if you have not pre-ordered On to Richmond, it is still available. It will give you the On to Richmond, which we've already done. Go back and watch that with the new maps. It will have Grant Takes Command, so you'll have the 1862 stuff with the Peninsula campaign. You'll have the 1864 Overland campaign, all with these fresh, brand new maps that clean everything up. And you also get a brand spanking new Petersburg scenario module, which will have the waning days, everything from Drury's Bluff, I guess, all the way around to the surrounding of Petersburg, even into the chase to Appomattox. So you'll have everything from about June of 1864 all the way to the end of the war as that third leg in the stool there. So if I was getting it for no other reason, it's just to refresh. There were two problems with the On to Richmond maps and the Grant Takes Command. The On to Richmond maps, incredibly dark. It was the very last game that was released by Avalon Hill before it was acquired by Hasbro. So the production quality was just get it out the door, right? So the maps are incredibly difficult to see. It's all very dark green and blue. And the problem with the Grant Takes Command map was that Charlie was not available, as I believe, as the story goes. He was not available, and I think Rick Barber took over in his stead, and the stylistic was similar, but it was very, very yellow. So it was yellow and faded and hard to see. But now that we've got Charlie back on with his consistency, he's also adding the new terrain types, which we see up here. We've got the ridge up in the northern part of the map, just east of Culpeper. We have the hill, which is now part of the standard series terrain. Everything used to just be flat or mountain or woods, right? Now we've got that intermediate hills. So in some tactical standpoints, hills may make the difference between being able to enter a hex or defend a hex that you would not normally have done in a previous version when it was mountain, like Clark's Mountain over here. That is something that is new and different and is a good consideration. So we are going to start right from the very beginning here. We're coming up on 30 minutes, and I apologize that our first episode is always talky, but because I've got the little chapters down there below, if you want to just jump right next to the one, you can get right to the game if you wish. But let's talk about the first scenario here. With all of these, Chris Withers and the staff have gone through and retweaked and rebalanced and made some small adjustments. So if you have a printed copy of Grant Takes Command, the numbers that I will have here are a little different than what you have historically. They've made some small changes just to affect balance that they've learned through tournament play over the last 20 years since this was originally released. But let's talk about the scenario. Number one, the Battle of the Wilderness is what we're doing here. You can see this. It's beautiful. This scenario covers the 2 days of bloody fighting that occurred when Grant and Lee squared off for the first time in the wilderness. This is just the north map. It is only 2 turns, so this is great for tournament play because it's no muss, no fuss. Just get in there and start fighting. It's also an excellent starting point for this module. This is May 5th and May 6th of 1864. Both of the field armies are coming out of their winter quarters, and it's time to clash. So let's talk about special rules on this. This is basic scenario, so there are no random events. We don't have to sweat anything out. In turn 1, the first initiative will go automatically prescribed to the Confederate player, which in this one, if we're keeping consistently, I will start with the Union in this game, and Roger will have the Confederates, and then we'll switch sides. So Roger, if you're good with playing the Confederates in this one?
Yes, sure.
Perfect. We have some Union movement restrictions specific to Sheridan, who is required to sit here and guard the wagon trains which were parked at Chancellorsville. And we can see we've got this blue boundary here of 2 hexes around Chancellorsville. I must keep the cavalry within those 2 hexes to guard the wagons, right? They can't move outside that radius if they get attacked and are forced to retreat. So I have to have at least 2 units within this 2 hex radius. So I've got Sheridan already with J.I., Gregg, and Davies. Now I could potentially bring Wilson up, or the 5th New York, bring them back to coalesce. If the number of units ever drops below 2 due to combat losses or retreat, then I cannot make any attack or entrenchment with those cavalry units, any cavalry units. And any march actions undertaken by the cavalry units must end with them getting closer to Chancellorsville than where they were previously, just to force them back towards that 2 hex radius. Once I get them back up to 2 units, then that restriction is lifted. Suffice to say, I don't plan, I'm not telling Roger anything, he probably doesn't know. I'm not going to deal with Sheridan and the cavalry, because unless they're forced to react to something, to what Roger does. We have the Union reinforcements, the provisional stuff. We got Burnside, Potter, Provisional, and Wilcox. They are up here off map. So as the Union player, I can sacrifice an initiative to bring them on map. It costs the whole thing, and it puts them anywhere now. This is, I think, a little different than before, where they were prescribed to a certain hex. Now they can come in between 1701 and 2201. So I have possibilities there of where to bring them in. Attachments. This is not an advanced game, but you can do attachments in this. So we will have an attachment phase, and then if I have units that would qualify for that, smaller ones merging into larger ones, provided they're not over their cap in manpower, I could potentially, either one of us can potentially do that. And we've got all the markers down here. This is one of the neat things that Alberto does for us. We used to put just force markers out, but some of these are really expensive. Each one of these hexes, the control value is listed there, and it's currently indicated by the color of the control. So right now, all the ones in blue, the Union have control of. That is obviously going to change. And then the ones that the Confederates have are here in red, and their point values. So as they change, we will change the colors just to make it a little easier. So visually, you and Roger and I can all see what we need to do. And obviously Ewell is controlling Locust Grove, but every single one of these is a blue victory point location. So ultimately it is the responsibility of the Union to have control of those at the end of the game. Speaking of which, the end of the game victory point total for a marginal Union victory, I now need to get 79 points. Now, if you do some quick math up here, it's already very close. We got 30 here, we've got 18, so that's 48, and then we got another 27, so that's 75 right now. Yep. So we have the point locations there listed. In addition, we have it's +3 for each manpower loss suffered by the Confederate player, and -2. So there's a little bit of an advantage, a little incentive there for the Union to attack and inflict losses. So it's just manpower and all of these victory point locations. What do you think about all this?
Well, obviously, we both are going to have to be sort of on the offensive, aren't we? Because if my math is right, you only need 4 more points for a marginal.
That's right.
So I've got to take some points away, and then you're going to come at me. So this is,
Yeah, I love when we both go, Now, I've played this, admittedly, at least 3 or 4 times. This was also included in one of the tournaments that I played in. But this one is challenging because it is 2-turn, and you can't take anything for granted. The other factor is the Union has these incredible stacks, right? They've got Look at these 14 manpower and 11. That's just 2/3 of the man, and then 17. So the Fifth Corps itself is just this powerhouse. That goes both ways because if the Confederate launches a really good attack on these huge stacks and forces them to flee into the wilderness, that could be pretty devastating too. So there are pluses and minuses on both of these things as I think this does properly reflect Grant's massing of forces to bring them down towards the North and South Anna as we work our way past Spotsylvania down towards Hanover and Richmond ultimately. But I really love this one just because it's no muss, no fuss. There's maneuver, but very little you can get away with because of the way the roads are set up here in the wilderness. They drive you. And while it's on paper for the Union to get the points, it's more about the Confederate player down here taking points away, right? Or at least causing me to react to the point where I have to take that back. Obviously, the big one here is the old Parker store because it's lightly defended and it's the avenue right here towards past the Widow Tap. So that crossroad there. So Confederate player is determined in this one. They have to go in there, but you have to find what's the overextended point, right, before you can get trapped and surrounded. I love this one. This is great.
Oh, wow. Another interesting twist here. I'm looking at the victory conditions. I guess this applies to either one of us. We can control Shady Grove, Todd's Tavern, or Piney Branch with infantry or cavalry.
That's right. That was this is the one little nuance that's a little different. These three churches and taverns down here, because normally you have to have an infantry unit to control a space. But in this one, you can just take Stuart's cavalry and just go charging through there, and as you pass through, you are changing control of it. So cavalry can capture any of those three for victory points. So that's another interesting nuance on this one. Do you have any other questions or insights about this one that you want to talk about before we go?
Okay, it's been a while since I've done entrenching on the march. So we can entrench on the march, and that's an act. We can do that with a leader activation, correct? So if you were to activate all three of these guys, Early could dig in and road, but I have to announce that before I roll my movement. I have to say Early's going to entrench.
Yes, okay. That's right. You would indicate which ones are going to be marching, which ones will be entrenching. That's correct. Yes. So another nuance here because we've jumped ahead from 1862 to 1864. Just like Hood Strikes North, we now have entrenching on the march, which is a wonderful nuance on this one. Just throw up some abattis, and that's going to happen a lot.
I think that's it. I think this is going to be. I think I get the first activation, so I think I know what I need to do to start, and after that, it's going to be, as you say, reacting to what you do.
Indeed, yes. So I, with that, will wish you good luck and turn it over to you for the first automatic initiative of turn one. And unless we've forgotten anything else, again, welcome to everybody watching this. We hope you enjoy the show.
Good luck to you as well. Are we doing leader transfers first?
You can certainly do leader transfers first. Yep. So I will look around and I will not make any leader transfers.
Yeah, I'll leave everybody where they are. Okay. So yeah, my first activation will be you'll take Early, Rhodes, and E. Johnson to fatigue 1. And they're all marching. So here's their movement. It's 5. Like that because you're probably going to do a cav retreat, I think. So we'll start. You will stay with E. Johnson. 1, 2. I have 3 movement points remaining. What would the 5th York like to do?
We will certainly get out of there. So they're going to get a fatigue and flip disorganized. And they started with a 1, so this is a -2 to this roll. Here is their retreat roll. And it's a 2, so you'll lose just 1. And I think they'll come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to there.
He loses 1. He's moved 2, so he has 2 left. So he'll go through Parker Store to there. Now I move. Does control mean I just have to pass through, right? So that somehow gets changed.
That's right. I will change the color. It's
Okay.
Control Q here, so it is now red.
Okay. Roads has a 5. Gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Early, we'll just go 1, 2 to there. So first initiative roll. It's yours.
Okay. The advanced scouts have seen movement. We will activate the 5th Corps. Alright, here's their movement +1.
Wow.
So we'll keep Warren with the leadership there. I'll have Griffin do that. What would the 1st North Carolina like to do?
I guess they'll retreat. Here's their retreat attempt. It's a 5. So it's -2. So you lose 1 movement point.
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta go further away. 1. Further away for 2 on the road. Can you go further away by, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 2. I can go 5 to there, and then I can go 6. Yep, I'm still 5 hexes away. Okay.
Okay. Griffin will just stop there. And then we'll have Warren count 1, 2, 3 to there. We'll have Robinson go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. And Crawford come back to there. Alright, initiative. It's mine again. I will have Sedgwick activate Wright and Getty. Here's their movement. 3. We'll have Sedgwick come over to Getty. Wright will go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Initiative. It's yours.
Early to fatigue 2. And he's just going to build Abatisse. Initiative. It's yours.
I will have Hancock activate Mott. Here's his movement, +1. 3. He'll go 1, 2, 3 to Piney Branch Church. Oops, there we go. There we go. I have control of that now. Initiative. That's mine again. Okay, we'll have Mott go again with Hancock activating. Here's a movement. 7.
Hmm.
Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, let's see, I got 1 left. I'll do come back to here just to guard that flank. So I'm going to take control of both of these.
Mhm.
There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Initiative. It's yours.
Okay. AP Hill will activate Heath and Wilcox. Their movement. They go 4 hexes. Hill and Lee will stay with Heath. 1, 2, 3. Wilcox go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Initiative. Mine again. Hill will activate Wilcox and Heath. Their movement. 4 again. Lee's going to transfer to Wilcox. AP Hill is going to stay where he is. Heth will go first. Heath will go first. 1, 2, 3. He has 1 movement point remaining. What would Wilson like to do?
4 to 1. So that's +3. I guess we will cav retreat out of there. I'm going to take a fatigue and flip. Here is... we got a +2 to this roll. Oh, very nice. So it's an 8, so you lose 4 movement points.
Yep, he's done.
Good stand, good stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there.
Okay. Wilcox. 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative. Mine again. You will activate E. Johnson and Rhodes. Their movement. 5. Yule's going to transfer 2 roads. He's going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. E. Johnson's just going to go 1, 2 to there. Initiative, mine. Okay. AP Hill's going to activate Heath and Wilcox. So they'll both need extend die rolls. His movement, their movement. AP Hill's going to transfer to Wilcox, and Wilcox is going to go first. Here's his extend die roll. It's okay. You there. Okay. Heath. He's okay. So 1, 2, 3 to there.
All right. The Grove Church is now yours again.
Initiative. Yours.
Whoo! All right, Mott. Time to get out of there. Here's his movement. It's 4. Here's an extend march now of +1. He's okay. Guess we'll do 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative. Yours.
Bring up Anderson. Peak 1. Go 4 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Initiative. Mine. Anderson again. 3 hexes. Well, since this is only a 2-turn scenario.
Charge!
Yeah, force march. So he has to flip. Here's his force march roll. So he picks up another 2 hexes with no manpower loss. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
So he can go 5 hexes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Initiative. Yours.
Man, there's some really good decisions here. Let's have Merit activate the first cav. Here is their movement. So that will be 9 movement. Go Custer first. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then the other blokes will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to there. Initiative. Yours.
Well, let's take the first North Carolina. And go 8 hex. I think 9 hexes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them somewhere semi-safe. Initiative. Mine again. Take Anderson to T3. Here's his movement. 7. Extended march. He's okay.
Boo!
3, 4, 5. Let's do that. 6 and 7. Initiative. Mine again. Longstreet will activate Kershaw and Field. You can go 6. Kershaw first. And Longstreet will go with Kershaw. 1, 2, 5, 6. Field. Probably behind. Initiative. Yours.
And just a quick note for you history fans out there. Yes, that is not Old Pete on that marker. We have informed Alberto that
Looks like
currently
Hood.
there's a picture of Sam Hood. He's going to fix that in the next version. So we apologize for the technical difficulties. All right.
Hopefully it's not that way on the actual counters. We get the counter.
No, yeah, I hope not. What to do here? So many considerations because it's a two-turn scenario, Roger. You've already made that big choice with Anderson. I don't have such luxuries. I have to keep things organized and fresh. I think I will use this moment here to activate and bring the 9th Corps and Burnside on. So give up the activation and instead place all 4 units on the map. They can be anywhere from 1701 to 2201 inclusive, but the units may be placed in different hexes. Potter and Provisional are given a fatigue level 2, and Wilcox is given a fatigue level 1. Okay? That's some hard marching. And then they can't do any movement further, so I think I'm going to do... Look at the road network here. I think I'll put Potter, Old Man Potter, and a Provisional here, and they will each get 2 fatigues. I will put Burnside with them, and Wilcox will go here, and he will get 1 fatigue. And that is the move. Initiative. Yours.
Well, take Longstreet, Kershaw, and Fields to T2. Their movement. Oh, there we go. 8. I'm not going to force march them. Longstreet stays with Kershaw. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. And Field will come up behind. Initiative. Mine again. Stuart will activate Rosser. 11. He gets a +3, so that's 14. To the blockhouse. Initiative. Mine again. Stuart will activate Rosser again. 4, 2, 5, 6, 7 to there. Initiative. Mine again. We've got Johnston way down here in the south.
He might just make it.
Take him to fatigue 1. You can go 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Initiative. Mine again. Take him to fatigue 2. 6. I don't see why these guys can't have a road that goes relatively straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Initiative. Mine again. taking fatigue 3. 4, extended march. It's okay. 1, 2, 3. And I'll keep him back there. Initiative. Mine again, golly. Stuart will activate Lomax and Wickham. Here's their movement. 9 plus 3. 12. Stuart will transfer to them. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. They'll stop there. So yeah, Lomax, Wickham would have moved first with Lee and Stewart, and then Lomax would come up. Initiative. Fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. Stewart will attempt a core assault on Wilson. Attempt. 2, so it does come off. So the type is going to be a +1. The tactical is a +1. The ratio is a +1. There is no flank, there's no terrain, and you have a die roll for artillery.
Yes, let's try some artillery. Did we unlimber them? It is
Yes.
even. It is used.
So it's 3 up and 1 down for a final of a +2. How what you see?
Attack ratio, artillery. Yep. So type, tactical ratio. Yep. -1 for artillery.
+2.
+2.
Okay. There's the attack roll. More aggressive probably than it should be. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, I'm shaking my fist at Roger already. All right, come on, Wilson. So it is a +5. I am going to lose somebody, or not lose somebody, but I'll lose a manpower. So let's take that off of Macintosh. He's down 1. That is a Union manpower loss. It's -2 points for me, and they must retreat. Let's get the 1, 2, 3. They're now demoralized. And they must go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there.
And that was a +5.
It was a
And the
+5.
5 is an EA, so I can advance into Todd Tavern. It swings back my way.
It does.
Okay. Initiative. Mine again. So E. Johnson's gonna entrench. He goes to fatigue 3. He's gonna build some abatis. Knit. Mine again. Let's see. So they go. So early we'll dig in some more. Initiative. Yours.
I will activate the 1st Cavalry with merit again. Here's their movement. 10. Custer will go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Merit will just go 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to there. Initiative. It's mine again. Sedgwick will activate Getty and Wright. Here's the movement. 3. Wright will go there. And Getty will go 1, 2, 3 to there. Initiative, yours.
We'll take early to fatigue 4. He'll continue to entrench. He's at B2. Is that the right sequence?
That is correct. He's at 20 now.
Okay. Initiative, mine. Longstreet, Kershaw, and Field. Their movement. I go 5 hexes. Longstreet's going to transfer to Field. Kershaw's going to move first. Extended march. He's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now Field. It's okay. 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. Initiative. Mine again. Really could have used one more pip there. I'll take E. Johnson to fatigue 4. He'll add another layer of entrenchments. Initiative. Mine again. Stewart will activate Lomax and Wickham. Fatigue 3. Lomax is just going to entrench. Wickham is going to move. So here's their movement. 5 is 8 for Wickham. Lomax entrenches. Stewart is going to go with Wickham. Here's his extend die roll. He flips. Very, very disappointing. They have 8 movement points, which is very disappointing. 1, 2 to there, which means I can make a normal attack.
You can make a normal.
Okay, so this is going to be, the ratio is 2 to 1/2. So that's going to be +3. The tactical is +2. And the creek is a -1. So I see 5 up and 1 down for a final of a +4.
I also see +4.
Okay, this might be foolish too, but
Can the brave 5th New York make a stand against the aggressive Stewart?
6.
And here's my roll. No. all my life, the last few games is just whatever your number is, -1.
Now, we can talk about that after the recording, because I just went through some stuff on the last one. I was like, oh, wow, 3 1s in a row.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I get you. Okay, so they're eliminated completely, and we'll delete them, and I will take another manpower loss.
Okay, that for me was into action. I'm not going to cross the creek there. Okay, initiative. Mine. So let's take Wickham to fatigue 4. Movement. 8. Extended march. He's okay. And then move. Initiative. Mine again. Is there anything else I want to try to do? Anything else I dare do? Could bring W.H. Lee up. What good does that do me? 2. Okay, I'm going to pass.
I've got a bit of work to do now. So, I believe we'll have Hancock activate Barlow to 1. Here's his movement. It's 2. Because why would I expect anything else, Roger? Herm. Let's go 1 and 2 to there. Initiative. Mine again. Hancock will take Barlow to 2. Here's his movement. That's better. 6. So they can go 1, 2 to there. They have 4 left. What would Stuart like to do? I'm 16.
To 4 plus 3.
I think you got 5 with that abattis. So yeah, you
Oh.
got a 3 and a 2 there. So you're a 5. Yeah.
2 ratio.
I do have 3 to 1 because I'll have 16 to 5. So plus 2. You'll have a die roll for your artillery because it's 3 to 1.5. So I don't quite have enough to cover it.
We'll retreat. So Lomax goes to fatigue 3. Uses his entrenchments. He's going to end up flipping manpower. Here's his retreat roll. No losses. They have to go further away by road. So this way looks best. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. They'll stop there.
Okay. And with the abattis and everything, you did have enough for a plus 2, so it becomes a 4 cut in half. So I will lose 2, but academic because I have enough to get in there. Change that back to Union control. Huzzah! The tavern is ours. Ale for everybody.
Okay.
Initiative. It's yours.
Okay. I'll pass.
I will move. Let's see. Burnside will activate Wilcox to 2. Here's the movement. It's 4. He will transfer to Wilcox. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. Initiative. Mine. Let's move Ricketts. Here's his movement. 5. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Initiative. Yours.
I will pass.
Burnside will activate all of the 9th Corps. I have some extended marches here, but we'll see what happens. Here's movement. 4. Stevenson's okay, so he'll just go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Burnside and Wilcox. Here's their extended march plus 1. They're okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Potter plus 1. He flips. Goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And provisional. They're okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Initiative. We'll have Merit activate both the first cav to 3, and they will just build abattis. Initiative. Yours.
W.H. Lee will activate Chambliss. Forgot about him back here. 2, 6, 7, 8. Initiative. Mine again. Gonna pass.
We'll activate Ricketts with Sedgwick. Here's the movement. All these great movements. Man. Just join him there. Initiative. Yours.
Pass again.
It really does become like a no man's land here. Oh, what do we do here? It's probably pretty early to do this, but I'll take a shot at it. I will activate Ricketts and Getty for an assault attempt on early. Here we go. The attempt fails. Tension.
They went to fatigue 3. Okay.
Yeah, they did go to 3. Alright, so that is fate telling me it's too early. So initiative, yours.
Um, yeah, I'll pass.
I'll pass as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but it's just not much I want to do that will make forward progress on this right now. Here is our sunshine recovery. All is recovered. Okay, so quick review here of scenario information. I need 79 points at the end of turn 2. Oh, and let me check, make sure. Ah, yes. So we are on the turn 2 of 2. I need 79 points, and I've got, let's see, I've got minus 4, so I'm at 72 minus 4, so I'm at 68. Yeah, okay. Is that correct? Is that what you see?
You have 2 manpower losses?
I do, so it's minus 2 each, so 4.
Yes, 68. Yes.
Okay, so we are agreed. 68 points, and I need 79, so
Oh, wow. Just one road junk. One of those 2 road junctions gets it for you.
one of those 2 road junctions, right, and without losing half of the battle in manpower losses, right. And we know that's going to happen. So I just need to make you hurt more than you hurt me. All right, so leader transfers. I'll move Hancock back up to Gibbon. Grant and Warren to Griffin. That's me.
Well, I did a really terrible job of keeping my Army Corps together, didn't
You and me both, brother.
I? God, Second Corps, Third Corps spread all the way out. I'm going to move Ewell. It's obviously going to be a battle up early. As I think you can get there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 hexes. And I'll move Longstreet to Kershaw. Stewart, nowhere to go. Guess I'll leave AP Hill and Lee where they are. In the center of the universe there. That's it for me.
Okay. Are there any attachments that we see of any consequence?
I don't think I have any.
I don't think I do either. I didn't move anyone into position for that purpose, so we'll just forego that. Okay. Well, the all-important first initiative. Let's see if it's going to shine on Grant today or not. So here we go. And it does.
Okay.
Stunned by this. All right, so we will attempt an assault with Griffin on Ewell. So here is the assault attempt. He is a 5. So here's the assault attempt. It comes off.
Got it.
Okay. Now the more important grand assault attempt from unconditional surrender Grant. Here we go.
Oh.
Like his predecessors before him, he proves to be entirely too cautious. That's fine. Okay, well, then we're going to go with this. It's going to hurt, but we'll see what we can do. So I get a +1 for the assault. All hexes surrounded. Of course, it's the wilderness, so we're going to look and see. I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes covered. However, this one will come off because I don't have a road into it. This one will come off because I don't have a road into it. And this one will come off because it's a friendly. So it is a full flank, but it's reduced the maximum amount, so I get a +1 for the final flank. Is that what you see there?
Yes.
Perfect. It is a -1 now for ratio because I've got 17 to your 20, and it's a -1 for a tactical. So this is going to be a completely even assault, which pains me greatly. So here we go. Here's the attack from Warren. It's a 2.
And a 6. Wow.
Wow. These dice confound me every time, Roger. It's going to be a short work today. That's the challenge of this particular scenario because you bring so many units in, and all it just takes is one bad attack, and it's just gonna. So -4 on 17 is gonna be 2D. So I take some more, and absolutely nothing happens to you. So it's just dig in the hole, dig in the hole, and they are done for the day. Take 2 losses, 1, 2, and flip. Alright. Repulsed from Locust Grove. Initiative. Mine again. Sedgwick will activate right. Here's the movement.
Nice.
Good. That is very nice. He will go 1 and 6 to there. Initiative. Yours.
So now you have a +2 flank. Flanks are fused. We drop that down to run the chance of flipping because I'm going to fatigue 2.
Oh, yes.
So that wouldn't be good. That would be very uncool. So I think Longstreet's going to activate Kershaw and Field. Here's their movement. Go 7 hexes. Longstreet will stay with Kershaw. Field will move first. They went to T1, so there's no extended march. That's 1 to there.
So I have the option here to.
Oh, that's right. You could cavalry. Yeah.
I will. You have enough for prepared, and you've got that, but you don't. And you've got flank-wise. You got 1, 2, 3. You've got everything covered, and 1 will come off. So you're looking at a pretty sweet flank there, but I need to keep that flank. So I'm gonna make you work for it. I'm gonna stand.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably a mistake. You feel free to put your comments right down there below why this was stupid, but I need to stay there.
So +4 final attack. So yeah, let's see if I can't get you out of there. So what I see, I'm gonna type it up. Type is a +1. Tactical is another +1. Final flank +2. So the final attack is +4. So here we go. Attacking on the march with a prepared attack. Here's the attack roll +4. 5.
There's a glimmer of hope. Come on, Merritt. This is your moment. It's 3. So it's a +2. So you get me out of there. And I have 6 total.
The DR for you. 1 DA for me.
Okay, that helps a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, flip, lose appetite. They're going through a friendly on the way out, so they're okay. So 1, 2 to there. So 1 manpower loss for you. Okay.
Now the question is, do I want the hex or not? And it's a 3 BPs for that. I think I'll stay where I'm at. Kershaw still has 7 movement points. It's going to go 1 to there. Going into woods with 10 is +3. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Initiative. Yours.
All right, let's try this again. Activate both Ricketts and Getty. They're going to attempt an assault on Yule with their 29. So here's the assault attempt. It comes off. So we've got coverage. There's no sense bringing more in because that would just be madness. Let's look at the chart as we advise everyone to do. So I'm at 29, so if I brought right in, that gets me nothing because I'm at, well, that would get me the 2 to 1, but I'd be at 43 on the chart, so that's even on my best day, I'm losing lots of manpower. So we'll just keep it with these two right here. So we got +1 for the assault. I no longer have a flank. Boo! Then it's -1 for tactical. And there's no artillery in the woods. There's another even attack, Roger. I need the dice to go my way here.
Yep, even attack.
Yep. All right, here we go. Here's the attack. Bam! Come on, baby.
Got it.
Oh, there we go. Whew.
So +3.
+3 attack.
I had 10.
29. I lose 2, and you lose 1?
Yes.
Okay, but more importantly,
Delete the entrenchment.
2.
I lose 1 manpower. Pick up 3 fatigues. They're done for the day. Losing manpower. And
So I just fatigue out.
so I can retreat. You attack from Sedgwick, correct? So I need to move
I
further
did
away.
attack from
So I have to go through Long Street. Oh, everybody moves through Long Street. 1. That was a little R.
A little R, right?
2 to there. I'm just going to go ahead and stack them into that hex. 3. And the final result for you was a what?
2 FA.
Oh, 2 FA. Okay. And a big F?
Big F,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm up to 3 fatigues now. Question is, I think the smarter play here is to just move
Locust Grove.
him in there and leave Getty out here in case you try
Close.
to get So, yeah. Sedgwick will advance. Okay. So that changes that. 75 and 9 is 84 minus 6. 78. 1 point, Roger. 1 point.
Yeah.
Oh, this game. All right. Initiative. Yours.
Okay. Well, let's see. You've got 11 in there.
That's right.
Can't believe you
Yes.
didn't go to disorganized. That would have been very helpful. AP Hill will activate Wilcox. There's his movement. Go 4. Lee is going to stay where he is. AP Hill will obviously travel with Wilcox because he has to. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Initiative. Mine. AP Hill will attempt an assault on Ricketts. Wilcox. There's the attempt. Ooh, what's AP Hill? Ooh, he's a 6. Good. It comes off. So I've got the ratio covered. We'll attempt a grand assault with Lee. I think I need to get ratio's the only thing I can get going for me here. So attempt a grand assault. I can bring in 1 more hex.
Boo!
I'm just going to bring in Anderson. So the type is a +1. The tactical is +1. I now have 26 to your 11, so that gives me a ratio of +1. There's no artillery because we're in the woods. I don't have a flank, and there's no terrain. So the final is a +3.
That's what I see.
Here's the attack roll. 5. Not good enough.
Never say never, Roger. Wait for it. Here's my defense. Okay. So you get me out of there, man. I just cannot.
Oh, just barely.
All right. So +2.
26 is going to be a 2DA.
2DA, and I've got 11 in there, so I just a 1 DR, so that helps me a little bit. So 2 for you, 1 for me. Bloody Locust Grove. So they flip and lose 1.
Both going to be done.
I neglected to take my 2 off of previously from Getty, so I need to mark that here. Oops.
I'll take it off of Wilcox.
And they're going to go
Increase fatigue. Increase fatigue. They go to
1, 2 to there.
disorganize. I'm just going to increase fatigue on the others, and they'll both move into the hex there.
Okay. Capture it.
And those 12 points go back to me. How many Confederate manpower losses? 6 now?
I show 4.
4. Okay, that's okay.
7 to 4. But so you're 12 and I'm 14,
Yeah.
so it's within 2 now. Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, the trading manpower doesn't help. They're done. Okay, initiative. Mine. You still have to do some work.
Well, with your manpower losses, yeah. If I can retake Locust Grove, I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, you can take Locust Grove, but you've got to take Locust Grove. We'll take Rosser to fatigue 1. 2 die plus 1. You can go 10 hexes. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going to stop there. Initiative. Mine again. Activate Stewart. Come in Lomax. There's their movement. 7, 10, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I got to extend marches on them. Wickham. He's okay. And Lomax. He's okay. Initiative. Yours.
Hancock will activate Bernie. Fatigue level 1. He will lose entrenchments. Here's movement. 6. He will go with Bernie. 1, 2, 3 to there. What would Rosser like to do?
He will cavalry. No real impact on you. So he has to go further away by road. 1. Lost my mouse. 2. Further away. 3, 4, 5, 6. Take the sunken road readout.
So no effect on me. I want 1, 2, 3. 3 left. 4, 5 to there.
No, we'll flip these guys as well. Already flipped, so you pick up a fatigue. And again, no effect on you. Further away by road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Up there. Initiative. Mine again. Sedgwick activate right. Here's the movement.
Oh.
Great movement. Dang, that's a great movement. Sadly, Sedgwick's just going to transfer to right, and they'll march in place. Initiative. Yours.
I'll pass. I guess this will have to come down to this, I think.
Yeah. Well, this could potentially swing it one way or another.
He's still got a bunch of manpower left. It's just ridiculous. I'm looking at all those guys.
The problem is getting them all into the finite spaces, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where logistics becomes king in this game. All right, let's try an assault with right on AP Hill. So here is the attempt.
Oh, wow.
Bedevils me, Roger. Bedevils me. Initiative. It's yours.
Well, do no harm. I'm going to pass.
Okay. Let's try this one more time. Right to fatigue level 4. Here's the assault attempt. It fails.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad we can give entertainment here, folks, and to show you the wonderful tension and heartbreak that can occur.
Communication in the woods there.
In the woods, right? Exactly. The runners are just, that's a perfect. I mean, the woods are on fire. There's smoke everywhere. There's no cohesion, and it fails twice. So, Initiative. Oh, hey, it's mine again. Uh, take this another way. I will have Warren activate Crawford to 1. Here's the movement. It's 5. We'll transfer to there. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to there. Initiative. It's mine again. Warren will activate all 3 there. Here's the movement. Yep. Okay. That's fine. Wadsworth, let's see. We'll have them transfer to Wadsworth. Wadsworth there, Robinson there, and Crawford 1, 2 to there. Initiative. Mine.
This is where on my side the game can be mad, hanging on to a fatigue instead of digging in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I was like, man, you may need him to maneuver, and it's like, man, I probably should have just been digging him in this whole time.
I might as well just go for it here. I mean, because bringing, working with other pieces and moving parts, we see does not go so well. So we will attempt an assault with Wadsworth on Lee et al. Here's the assault attempt. It passes. They are raring to go. And then we'll send a courier to Grant's tent and say, can we bring Robinson in?
Yes.
And he says, yes. All right. So here's what we got. 1 grand assault. +1. A ratio now is covered. Our tactical is -1. Nothing else. So I'm just seeing +1, -1. Is that what you see?
Yeah. Final of 0.
Yep. So I'm at 25 to your essentially 19 and a half, 20.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Here we go. Here's the assault. Attack. 3.
Ooh.
No. Boo. -2 on 25 is 2D. No, 3D. Yikes. -2, 3D. Yeah, I think that's gonna essentially put it out of the way.
Pick up a fatigue. Johnson. Oh, 20. Wow, 3D. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get these right here. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2 off of Wadsworth. They will both flip. They're done for the day. Yeah, I just didn't figure I'd have more setup time. So let's move. Let's see. Did you take anything?
That was an F for me.
An F for you, of course. Yes. So I take 2. That's probably going to put it out. I can make one more shot, maybe, but that's not going to go well either. Just going to dig a hole. Initiative. It's yours.
Okay, let's see. I'll take E. Johnson, fatigue 3, entrench again. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to the entrenchments, but... Oh, that did get me to breastworks too. Okay.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Should have been doing that all along. Initiative. Mine again. Okay. Guess I'll take Rhodes to fatigue 1. There's his movement. Wow, he can go 7 hexes. Not really. Yeah, I guess the simplest thing is for him to go there. Initiative. Mine again. Guess I'll have Heath start to dig in. Initiative. Yours.
All right. I'm going to look around the board here and just see. One of the things for you first-time viewers of the series or the channel or whatever is the mathematical possibilities, and there are some out there. They know who they are, who will argue that you should play it out completely to the end. In most cases, I agree with that because you never know. but there are personal morale checks that come frequently through there, especially with every single die roll on any critical moment. So, looking around here, I'm just going to do some quick math here. I've got 30, 48, 63, 72, right? 72, and I'm manpower-wise, I'm at minus 18 plus your 12. So I'm down 6. So I'm 72, so I'm at 66. And I need 79. So that means I have to take ostensibly both of those now, and or one of them, and inflict a bunch of losses on Roger. That becomes increasingly difficult here because I don't have the moving parts anymore that I did. And I'm setting myself up for good counterattacks. So I'm going to try one more thing and see if I can do it. But I don't think it's going to go very well. Because when you look at things like attacking on the march with a Union force who is so brittle, that's not helpful in any way, shape, or form. Where my most potent forces are is where you're not. So that's not helpful. And, you spend all that effort getting things up there, exposing other things. So oftentimes it is okay to just say, I don't see it. It's not like Combat Commander where anything could just happen and does. So I'm going to just try an attack, or I'm going to activate Getty for March. And he'll go to 4. He's exhausted, so that's almost certainly... I'm going to flip him, just see what he is. Flipped 11, so that's... Okay, that's not so bad. Alright, so Getty will march. Here's his movement. He's activated by Sedgwick. And, of course, didn't get the one I needed. Man, Roger, this game has just been painful.
Yeah,
Everything that can go wrong. It's the Murphy's Law. Alright, so Sedgwick will transfer. Here's the extended march of +4. Yeah, certainly. They're going to flip.
Is it a +4 or just a +3?
Yeah, because it's +3, but they're Union, so +4.
Oh, right.
So, I don't have enough for prepared. You've got AP Hill sitting in there, so it would be a normal attack at a -1 tactical. Flank-wise, I got nothing. It'd be -1 for your ratio as well. So I'm looking at a -2 attack here. This is what's called total desperation, right? And it's just going to end in more heartbreak. But here we go. Sedgwick's going to attack on the march, AP Hill, against all logic and military doctrine. Here's the attack, -2. It's a 1, of course.
Oh, 1.
Oh, look at that. But that does not help me. That does not help me at all. So 1 and 1. It's a 0 attack. And I'm 11 now. So it's another D. And you're already D'd out. So no effect on you. I'm going to move to 10 manpower losses. That's 20 victory points for you. Or -20 for me. Do that. -1 for him. Here we go. Initiative. It's yours.
I'm going to pass.
Roger says, I want all the points.
No, this is, clearly this.
It's been painful to watch, man. Woof, I don't know what you guys are out there feeling, but it's like, 3? Let's see, I had 3 failed assaults. You had 1.
Yeah.
Everything just went sideways, or south, if you will. So I'm going to pass as well, and we'll just call it here. It's, raw time, we're at 2.5 hours, so I will certainly trim this down to just the meaty bits. But this is where Roger and I like to reflect and talk about things we did well, things we did wrong, what the goods, the bads, the highs and the low, and then the scenario as a whole. So, do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I can certainly start. I think it ended up not hurting me that I had my core spread out from, here to there.
Yeah.
Like at first,
sometimes that's necessary for them because they're pretty independent.
Yeah. And it basically was how I moved them up. I didn't do a particularly good job of keeping my core together, so it ended up not hurting me. I was able to coordinate just enough to protect Locust Grove and just enough to protect Parker's store. But for me, it was just grabbing enough points, grabbing this, and taking that away and then just hanging on is real. And trying not to. I almost gave you some points with. I really got to remember that it's -3 for Confederate manpower losses. Because losing a cav on a cav retreat, I needed to avoid that, and I rolled a lot of cav retreats and got very lucky that I didn't lose any there.
You did all those twos, man.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah.
almost.
I mean, I could have given you because I was my thought was, well, I'll sneak in there and force you, and I ended up kind of doing that with Hancock, but it wasn't worth the risk. I didn't need to do it. And that was stupid. And you got I was very lucky in your unluckiness. I'll say that.
Yeah, and we often build our full strategy around that. Yeah, this one it is painful clearly because you've got so much to do in such a short amount of time with 2 turns. You have to make decisions as to whether you're going to be hyper aggressive with the Union on the first day, or to try to exploit some of the choices that you made. You did what is pretty standard, where you start in Locust Grove, so that's yours anyway. But then setting up in Parker Store, either any of these 3 hexes, controlling the road network, building what is sure to be the the build up. How that's going to happen, you're not sure as the Confederates, whether that's day 1, day 2, where Grant's going to be. I tried with Sedgwick something I think I've seen done in the past. I don't know if I've done it in the past or not. Just bring the 6 Corps up and trying this northern assault, all the while being cognizant of everybody that's down, possibly coming from this area to the northwest. You just never know. The total wild card is the 1st Corps under Longstreet, because they're coming from so far afield. You have to watch them because you don't know if they're going to come and work the western flank or they're going to help with Parker Store. And you did what I figured was pretty standard. You got some great movements. You got them right here. That gives you the flexibility to move
either way.
East or west, exactly. I was surprised at how quickly these became treasured spots. I mean, you just ran right through them, bing, 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 and now I've got to react to that. I've often seen Union players take the 2nd Corps under Hancock and immediately bring them into the fray forward, either to support against Parker Store or to build a bulwark. I wanted to try to take them piecemeal and counter. Since you were only using Stuart in the cavalry, I figured, well, maybe I'll pick them back up, but maybe I'll get some of those cavalry retreats. So that is the weenie cheesy points, but it's at -3, that's a free possibility. And I was surprised that you brought Heath down here, because Heath is usually the big hammer at one of these 2. But you had him down here just to anchor that southern flank, which seemed to work, because I was like, well, I'm not going to try any sneaky stuff that way, because it prevented me from coming through here and building. In most cases, I had the ability to build a full flank here, but the woods are just so devastating at the final flank that you just really have to do the best you can, and all the while guarding this flank against Longstreet coming up and grabbing and doing, pinching me in my own pincher. So there's so much on this one to consider, and it just wavers back and forth, plus and minus 12 points, and then once you get the manpower involved, it can go horribly, horribly wrong, as we saw. You don't get the assault rolls. I can deal with not getting Grand Assaults. That's gravy if you get it, but sometimes that's the difference between +1 and +2. But not getting the assault at all on 3 attempts, that hurt.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, time's ticking, boys. We got to do this.
Completely wasted fatigue, and it's
exactly.
Yeah, I moved Heath down to Grove Church because when Mott was there, I was hoping to get him trapped.
Thought you were gonna trap him or try to get some good surround points.
Yeah, and then open up, make you have to worry about in a serious way Todd's Tavern and Piney Branch Church and the roads leading north. But you got Mott out of the way, and he was like tucked behind that creek. And then it was like I was saying, it was like, well, I wanted to use him for something, but this has been a great if you add the detachment to this scenario, that adds a lot of flexibility. But with not having the ability to detach anybody, he just got stuck there. I couldn't move him, or I could have, but I felt like I was just doing more harm. So yeah, that was part of my kicking myself at the end of day one, was how I ended up with the cores completely I was able to dig in, and Longstreet was consolidated, so at least that worked for me. But yeah, I don't think I played particularly well. I think you just got really unlucky.
What's nice about this is that you have the luxury as the Confederate player to play fairly
Yeah.
conservatively and just go, build your line here. A very aggressive Confederate player who gets a string of initiatives early on will fight through Griffin here and start knocking on the door of Wilderness Tavern to really force the Union to scramble. And now they've got to coalesce, prevent that from being lost, and then fight back to try to get more points. So it is a choice that you can either push for this in sacrificing the 12 points for Parker Store. It really just depends on if you get a string of initiatives and how aggressive you want to be on both sides. But that's true. I mean, that's true of every game of this. I've seen some very aggressive Union players, which to me that's anathema. It's like these guys can't do anything. They just can't march. They can't set up assaults until they do, and then you're like, oh, I'm a genius. I'm a military genius because. But I just thought, I took my time on this. I took the one shot with Sedgwick. That did not go well in the first turn. I'm like, okay, that's the gods telling me not to do it right now. So I waited, and I did not get the payoff, even though I was able to, start with Griffin, fail with Griffin, and then just all the other ones. This is textbook case of, as you said, it's just unlucky. I was like, oh, that's welcome to the Patrick playbook.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we'll wrap this up. We will switch sides next time, and I will take the Confederates and see what choices I make. But this is a great starter scenario, of course. Overall, I think it gets you some of the nuances of 1864. This one we did not. I did not really utilize any entrenchments on the march for the most part. I think that's great for the cavalry. They can kind of get there and throw something up, but there's just too much to do for the Union to waste digging on forward defense, because it's like, look, he's going to attack me, then that's hurting him too, so there's no point in digging in if you can help it. That was the conscious choice I made on this one. So but we will switch sides, like I said, and we'll be back next time. We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to send you out with our usual admonition. Please clicking the like button if you've enjoyed this. We're still endeavoring for 100 views, 100 likes on one video. That would be terrific. And if you could leave comments down below about what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you would do differently in this scenario, feel free. That's what it's there for. And I'm showing you our current monetary contributors now. Thank you very much for everybody who is watching this enough and enjoying it enough to kick in a few bucks. Some of you are doing it monthly, so that is really, really amazing and very generous. So thank you. And Roger, good show today, sir. I'm so excited to work our way through the Overland Campaign now, so for the next few months. And
I'm excited as well. It's fun playing with you, and I'm looking forward to. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do on the Union side.
Yes, think hard. Yes, and then we'll throw all those plans out the window when the first die roll goes our. Yes. Well, you have a great week then, and everyone else. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye. Take care.